Welcome, everybody. Dominic here with Breakthrough Sessions. In life, it's really tough sometimes to realize the things that we really want to go after and those things that we need to think about, get more serious about. So, I'm oftentimes reminded, when I was a kid, I never imagined that I would be here in this moment at this place and time. But it took a lot of things that I went through in my life. Most of those things were things that caused pain. Some of those things were life learned lessons. Some of those things were moments that I felt like I was just not going to make it. And I don't know about anybody else, but really what I want to know from someone out there today is how bad do you want it? I wanted something so bad in my life when I was a kid that I was willing to do just about anything, whatever it took. I wasn't raised in the best neighborhood. I wasn't given anything. It wasn't always promised for me. I wasn't always a great student. But along my life, I had to figure out how bad I wanted it. Sometimes I wanted it so bad that I didn't even realize that it might be possible. And in my mind, I told myself over and over again that I wanted it really bad. I wanted to be different. I wanted to not be like other people that were around me. But I didn't want it bad enough because what I realized was is that when I got around certain people, I wanted to fit in still. So you understand how bad you want something by the way you go about getting it. And when I say the way you go about getting it, I mean the way that you're honest with yourself. When you're looking yourself in the mirror each and every day and you're realizing that I keep telling myself that I want to be different, but nothing's changing. Like like you don't want it that bad if nothing's changing. If you're in your life right now in this moment and you've been telling yourself that you want something really bad, then it's possible that you can get it, but you have to speak the truth into the light. You have to be willing to tell yourself the things that you know aren't happening, those things that you haven't quite done yet, the hard things. See, I used to tell myself a lot that I wanted to be a superstar. I wanted to be the best running back. I wanted to go to the number one college in the world. But none of that really sunk in. It never really mattered because I never really showed up to practice fully. I always thought that it would just be given to me because I was the most skilled, best player on the field at that point in time. And I never raised my level because I really didn't want it bad enough. I didn't want it so bad. I didn't understand what it meant to want it so bad. And I didn't give up a bunch of things that I should have gave up. I should have gave up my inability to be disciplined. I should have gave up my inability to not be knowledgeable in my books. I should have gave up my crying, my murmuring, my whining all the time, me. I should have gave up some of my my self-doubts about like did I deserve it? Because I didn't grow up with my father because I didn't have that heart. I didn't have it within me to truly understand like what it meant to be a young man. And I made terrible mistakes. But I really actually am here in this moment right now because I wanted it really bad. And as I got older, I started to understand this one thing that kept me going. And it was that if I wanted it bad enough, I had to be willing to sacrifice a lot. I had to be willing to look deep down within myself and give up some things. Give up some things that I never thought that I would have to give up. And that's when you start getting real. That's when things start to change in your life, when you focus on how bad you want it and you really actually do what's necessary to get it. You know, E.T., Eric Thomas, reminds me all the time, if you want it badder than you want to breathe. And I think what that means is every day to wake up, we got to be able to breathe. And once the breathing stops, once life stops, once it all starts to sink in and you realize is that you might not get a chance like to deliver, to do that thing that you want, to think about your dreams in that moment where your last breath might be coming about. Like, how bad do you want it? You got to want it bad enough. It's just got to be something from within. Got to want it badder than you want to breathe. Like, you got to hold on to it every every chance you get. You got to hold on to that thing that you're passionate about, that thing that you've been working on, and you got to hold on to it until you're no longer here on this earth. You got to put everything into it that you have, and you have to actually start looking at yourself and being a believer that it's possible for you in your life. So I don't know how bad you want whatever it is that you want. Maybe you want to be successful. Maybe you want to win at whatever it is that you do in life. Maybe it's a sport. Maybe it's in your life. Maybe it's in your relationships. Maybe it's at your job getting the promotion. But how bad do you honestly want it? Do you want it bad enough to where you'll skip some sleep? Do you want it bad enough where you'll be willing to say no to everybody who's called you to ask you to hang out for a little bit, take a drink, take a smoke, take a chill, relax, hang out, take a trip? How bad do you honestly want it? Because we say oftentimes that we really want it so bad that we're willing to do whatever it takes. But the truth is that if that was true for most of us, no doubt in my mind, we would have already had it. No doubt in my mind, we would have missed several days of sleep if we had to. No doubt in my mind, we would have actually given anything that we had in the moment at this present time to get it. But the truth is, we don't want it bad enough. We don't want the better life bad enough. We want to look good to everybody else. We don't want the better relationship bad enough. We want to give up when times get tough. We don't want the promotion bad enough. We just want to point our finger and say, I bet I can do better. We don't want to make more money in this world. We want to say, hey, somebody makes that much money. That's stupid. We don't want to actually have the bigger house. We want to look at those who have it and say, man, that's not right. How'd they get it? So start wanting something bad enough in your life, whatever that might be. And once you get to that point where you're disgusted with yourself and you're willing to be honest and you're willing to bring everything to the table and you're willing to create change in your own life by looking at what you have not done at this point in time, and you start to want it badder than you want to breathe, that's when you know you want it. That's when you elevate your level of play. That's when you get stronger. That's when you get wiser. That's when you get better. And in life, if you don't want it that bad, don't talk about it. Don't play around with it. Don't try to act as if you're putting on a show for other people so that they can watch you, because at the end of the day, if you're not willing to do whatever it takes, and I mean whatever it takes, just lay back down, give somebody else the opportunity in the day, and only wake up when when you're ready and willing to give it everything that you got to show somebody how bad you really want it, and fight for it each and every day. Stay committed to it each and every day, and never quit until you get that thing that you're going after. and live your best life. This is Breakthrough Sessions. I'm Dominick. Stay blessed, stay humble. You deserve every day, but you have to be willing to work for it. Take care of yourself.